objectivity aren't really there. People in the newspaper industry have for years called the sports area the toy department. Like they don't take them seriously as journalists, and this, as you might imagine, drives sports journalists crazy. But some of the expectations for objectivity aren't there, so the promotional and news missions of sport journalism oftentimes can get pretty blurry.
And what does that mean, like, especially in light of the development earlier this year when the local taxpayers gave quite a lot of money to the Panthers?
Yeah. Public funding for stadiums is one of the things that gets swept under. Domestic abuse, concussions, all of those things. This is an ongoing problem in sport media. A lot of that stuff gets swept under, or like a stadium funding issue will get kind of justified in a lot of cases. Lance Armstrong got away with doping for so long, in part because the American press ignored some of the evidence actively. And we find out about this after the fact. So that is an ongoing problem in sport. There's a lot of really good journalists in sport. A lot of people doing incredibly good work. But systematically, there are some problems there for sure.
I'm going to do my official. Oh, I should have thought later. I was just going to do my official thank you very much. Go ahead.
Well, I want to ask about what do you think what is the truth line of economic development influence
Well, so the last thing I saw was that Richardson bought the team for like $250 million and it's worth $1.5 billion. Something around there, so it's going to do really well. Economic development for taxpayers on a stadium, I don't know about the Panthers Council numbers, but it's typically a loser. And usually the taxpayer gets a pretty broad deal. Because if you think about it, it's a very unusual. I've seen some of the smartest business people who make decisions based on numbers say, well, in sport you just go with the intangibles. And we wouldn't make that kind of decision in any other walk of life. Like I wouldn't make that much of an investment, or I just move the money and say, oh, well, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know I'm buying some intangibles. Our brains get scrambled with this stuff. But it is typically a loser. Same thing in college athletics. Typically programs lose money. But there's enough cultural cachet that people feel like the investment is important. And you can argue intangibles if you broaden the net enough. You say, well, okay, yeah, we don't have direct numbers that say that redoing the Panther Stadium brought money into the Panthers, but look at how much Charlotte is growing. We got Electrolux here. Maybe that had something to do with it, right? So that's usually the argument. It's just sort of broad the web until it catches everything. But typically, as far as I understand, it's a loser.
It's cheaper at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock kickoff on the year on.
I mean, there is definitely economic development.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you work the numbers. I mean, a lot of the benefit goes to the Panthers. Right, but we benefit from having the team. We're all legitimately excited about the Super Bowl and so on and so forth. But as far as an investment, the subsidization of professional sports teams by taxpayers is usually much more beneficial to their team.
Probably just a little bit unfair to the sports. For instance, the building that we're in right now contributes a whole lot more to the community than just the direct economic development.
And that's why, right? And that's
There's more to life than cash.
Right, and so the economics don't typically work out in terms of raw cash. But yeah, the intangible argument is the one that really mobilizes the decisions. Yeah. With the arts, I think that probably the difference people would point out with the arts is that the arts need the help because they're not as commercially productive as sport, obviously. But bringing people to arts districts and things like that, I mean, yeah, those are things that sports can do. College athletics do. So that's usually where the argument rests.
I have this question. It's a little bit off the track here, but prior to the rise of the NFL, what was the big sport? Baseball?
Yes, that was the national sport.
And so why didn't they develop the same way with a better branding and
It's,
Shouldn't have to slide on.
yeah, there are a lot of, it's a great question. Good friend of mine studies baseball a lot more closely than I do. My understanding of it is that the NFL took advantage of TV much more than anybody. Not only, because like a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, the NFL was made for TV. And so it was. But the really funny thing is that it was made for TV in ways that we may not expect. For example, in a typical NFL game, the ball is only in play for about 11 minutes. In an NFL game, it's typically 3.5 hours or so of TV time. The ball is only in play for about 11 minutes.
In what?
In a typical football game. Yeah. It's stop-start, which soccer fans will tell you is an American invention that they don't want because it creates intervals for commercials. I mean, any of us that watch football and drive you crazy, right? There's a kickoff commercial, a run, somebody swings his ankle, oh, commercial. And football basically is the perfect container for commercial interruption. But there are other parts of it too. So the NFL in 1984 won a partial antitrust exemption from Congress that allowed them to package all of the team's TV rights into one bundle and sell it to networks. And so as they got more popular, they also could make more money and build the brand more. Baseball is the only sport that has a full antitrust exemption. It's always being threatened. That's why they go to the salary cap and players make so much. But the common explanation, and maybe it's suffices, is that football is just really, really, really good for TV. And football only has 16 games, so the stakes of each game are so much higher. But baseball has 100, and somebody helped me watch the baseball game, 165. Right, so like you're watching baseball at the beginning, and see somebody like me who's a casual observer of baseball, it's like I care in April because summer because you know, so the NFL, I mean the middle of the season, you're already moving for a playoff position. So it's really perfect.
Follow down on that baseball football. Why is the baseball players union so much more powerful than football?
The football union is terribly weak. Mostly because of somebody whose name I'm forgetting. Arthur Miller? Miller, I believe is his last name. So they had a labor leader early in the process, Marvin Miller, who was a powerhouse. And he had them hold out for everything. And yes, and so actually one of the reasons we had a steroid scandal is because the baseball union fought against testing. And then the major leagues were like, well, the sport's declining, so why don't we beef everybody up to get a lot of home runs? I mean, everybody was in on it. But they shortened outfields and all sorts of things. They wound the ball tighter. Broadened strike zones. I mean, there were a lot of things they did to create that crisis. But the NFL, I just wrote about this actually, from the moment that Burt Bell, who was the commissioner in the 50s, when the NFL started doing all on television, like 1958 is usually the marker people make that's when everybody started realizing, wow, people really want to watch NFL football. They got like 45 million viewers, which is an incredible number. For the 1958 championship game, the NFL realized that there was a lot of money, and that was the very moment that they decided to limit at all costs the organizing efforts of the players' union. And so the NFL has just consistently been ahead of the labor union and been very, very successful in controlling their options. They have a lot less spots, right? So if you don't like it, go somewhere else. There's nowhere else. They've got certain kinds of congressional approval that help. They control the TV money and so on and so forth. So they also can sign their players to contracts that have no guarantees other than the guaranteed money. Exactly. So the NFL has just been more successful at suppressing collective bargaining than baseball. I think that's the easy answer.
So I worked for the football players union back in the early 80s. The problem we had with